All right, let's begin in Nigeria. Benue State, food basket of the nation. Its long-term issue default rating has been improved to, I think, Fitch, to B-. Outlook from stable to positive. Additionally, Fitch has confirmed the rating and changed the outlook of Benue's national long-term rating from stable to positive. Given that Benue's IDRs are in line with Nigeria, the outlook revision takes into account the country's improved fiscal performance across the board. We talk about that, plus a lot of commercial activity with Dr. Raymond Asemakaha, who is a group managing director, Benue Investment and Property Company. He joins us from our Abuja studios. Happy New Year to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us about that positive rating, the upgrade from Fitch, and the measures taken, to achieve that.
All right. Good morning. Happy New Year, Rutos. How are you doing? For we in Benue State, when we came in, we noticed that the state was on a negative growth of -3.2%. So we began to do re-engineer and redirect Benue State economy. And we began to do micro businesses because we understand that in the SME council data, Benue State lost about 907,876 jobs. So we begin to do the commercialized micro businesses so that we redirect the economy back. And when His Excellency the Executive Governor came in, what he did was to lighten up Makurdi. So the night activities on the economy also, increase. And that's why we're able to, do some other things. There was also, reduction of OPEX. When we came in, the overhead was high, so we're able to cut it within 40%. That has also increased. And we also introduced what they've called the 4 key economic activities. And that's where we're driving it. So we're able to change from negative to positive because of the mechanism that were put in place.
Fantastic. Look, every state wants to attract investment. Benue State is no different. What about the challenges that the state is facing? How are you at the BIPC, looking at the government at large, looking to address the challenges that Benue is facing?
Yeah, we have a lot of multi-sectoral challenges, but we are fixing it. We have a listening governor, the executive governor, Reverend Father Hyacinth Halia. We have quickly come out with a lot of policy, Benue State inclusive economy policy. That policy is one of the things that we are driving that will stabilize our economic resilience. The policy will also enhance human capital development and promote equity growth within the state and promote sustainability. Those are the things we are putting in place. If not because of the policies, people like us wouldn't have been in the system, even though we have what it takes. We have what they call the inclusive governance. That's why the state is, reshaping and redirecting the economy to where it is. The sectoral coverage of the policy, they are enormous, but we are trying as much as possible to introduce those policies. We also have Benue State policy on micro and small businesses. The mission is to focus providing our financial, so that we can be able to direct the SME to contribute maximal to the national growth or the state growth. We also introduced the Benue State Industrial Trade Policy. Those are the things that we also do to prioritize the sustainable industry. And that's why we are driving industrial hub in the state to ensure that Benue State become a hub. We are non-central, we are an agrarian state. We have about fertile land, and we want to utilize it. Recently, we also create market for the agriculture. His Excellency gave an order directive that we should be, off-taking produce. So there's no excuse. We did the risk analysis and we discovered that there was a lot of influx of migration. People lost interest in farming. So the only thing we need to do is to create market for them. So we introduced off-take of their produce. So if they plant and harvest, the state government, off-take immediately. And that's the drive we are driving as we speak today. We have done a whole lot in the state, and we are still doing it to re-engineer and redirect the people in the state, knowing the fact that the SME in the states, before now, we have registered 1,552,000 people that were registered on the CAC as a SME. But we also lost, most of them lost jobs in terms of the SME space. So we are redriving it back to, redirect them back to the business space back to the ecosystem of businesses. We want every home should have a business. That is where we are driving.
All right, speaking of businesses, the brewery sector is a business that thrives in the festive period. We just looked at data from Dirty December and how much that contributed to the income of hotels, restaurants, and so on and so forth. So I know Benue State, you're going into alcoholic beverages, testing initiative for economic purposes. The former Benue Brewery, what happened to it? What is the way forward in that sector for you?
All right, those are part of the multi-sectoral challenge that when we came, we met down. But so we just commenced producing, we just commenced construction, which is where we are within the 75% completion. But what we did was to test the market acceptability to know. Before now, we did a survey and we discovered that the consumption is high within the North-Central. And Benue has the contribution is between 850 million every month, and when it's festive period is 1 billion. So we said that it's not possible for us to leave that market going. We must have something that will return a portion within Benue State, and that's why we are driving it. That's why we launched the Benue Heritage. That was done 22nd of December for us to have a touch of it. That's what we did, just to return some little cash flow within the state.
Now, the factories, we understand there's a lot of activity going on at these factories, long queues. What is being produced there morning till evening? What is behind the high level of activity at these factories?
Lutus, I can tell you that there's a lot of economic activities in Benue State. So when we came in, we have about 89% of non-performing factories and industry that was there. And that is one of the things that make the loss of the SMA job that we have about 978,876 persons that lost their job in the SMA sector, according to MSC Council data. So what we did was to look at the report and begin to introduce small and micro businesses. We have up to upscale those people to take them out of the street. We also noticed that our university graduate about 16,000 people, graduate for every year. And what happened to them? Let's say 25,000 that are now indigent. The remaining 12,000, what happened? So these policies that we're bringing in place is to ensure that we take at least 20%, that is about 2,500 or 2,400 rather people from those graduates. That's the deliberate effort we are doing. We also have about 1.6 million people that they are not in the job ecosystem. So with the activities that we are putting in place, we are taking them out in the ecosystem of businesses. Now, it's a deliberate attempt. Why are we doing that? Because we have a listening governor that understands, and that's why we are driving the 4 key of economic activities for 2025 to ensure that for every home there's a business introduced in that ecosystem.
Now, what's the outlook for the economy over in Benue State? How are you? So I guess if we have you back, maybe later in the year, half year, second quarter, third quarter, we can see updates. What are you looking at, to develop going forward, especially particularly for attracting the private sector? Because again, last time we had you on the show, we talked a lot about how it was the government driving these things, and I expressed to you that it would be nice to see an enabling environment that attracts private sector breweries, private sector bakeries, and so on. So what's your outlook there for attracting, private sector players into Benue State to build up more factories and so on?
Yes, so the outlook for 2025 drive is we have 4 key phases of economic activities for 2025. And one of it is economic intelligence. We have developed, or we are developing a data protection master plan. That's the phase number 1. Number 2 is to embark on sectoral institutional reform and policies. I remember I told you that one of the policies that we quickly did is the Benue State inclusive economy. It's one of the things that we're ensuring that we put in place. The second one is Benue State policy on micro and small medium, and the mission is to focus on providing financial and non-financial services to SMA so that they can contribute. The third one, we are also doing commercialized drive. That's where I am heading. We are driving commercialized so that people can be able to come in the states. Remember that the Benue State have also put certain precedent in place in terms of enabling environment for investors, and it's being driven. And His Excellency is giving us maximum support. For every week, we give him report on the activities. He has also given us a target that for every quarter we roll out micro factories that can be able to uptake and take those people from where they are. There's a lot of economic activities that we are driving because we have understand what has happened in the past, and we want to direct the economic activities, and that's why we are driving, and that's why we are driving as it today. We want to ensure that for every quarter we are taking people to 2,400 on the street. It's a target that has been deliberately given to us, and we are working in line, knowing well that going forward, the output had to exceed the population growth. One of the biggest challenges that we have in the society today is because population has grown and the output has remained stagnant. So we have looked at those numbers, and we feel it is important that we begin to, upscale the growth in the performance, that's the business angle, the business industry, so that people can be able to fit in, knowing the fact that the growth of population is within 2.4% on every state. We have about 6.2 million people in Benue State. So we are redirecting the economy back so that the people in the state can be able to go to farm. The government has also made a policy that we offtake so that they will not be discouraged. We noticed serious migration, and when we did this risk analysis, we found out that we must do this because it's important. We are also preaching and working hard. In Nigeria today, Benue State, we have River Benue and River Niger. And in these two states, there's no seaport in these rivers. And so we are also pushing His Excellency to see how he can do if the federal government can be able to work with the state so that we have a seaport, and that also will help the state. We are looking as much as possible to re-engineer and do this. Those are the deliberate attempts that we are fostering within the states.
Fantastic stuff. We look forward to further updates on growing Benue State's economy. Thank you so much, Dr. Raymond Asemakaha, Group Managing Director, Benue Investment and Property Company. Thanks for your time.